All right. We hope that this thing is not dead. I kid you not, chat. I have been trying since 3.5 hours ago to get this fantastic electrical piece of equipment that I use every single day to function, to work. And, well, it works. But, man, was that frustrating. I think I scheduled the live stream. It was supposed to be for like an hour and a half ago. And it was not. It just wouldn't do it. But we're live now. It's still a work in progress. Oh my gosh, is that green bright? I was not expecting that. Let me fix my camera. Because of the small things that I didn't, fix. Of course, it would be my camera. Alright, there we go. Camera is done. Yeah, by the way, that is a bright green. What the heck? Chat, I told you. There's been so many things that have been going wrong with my stream. First off, how's everyone doing? If you're in the chat, tell me how your day is. It is April 28th, 2025. It is 7:09 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And you guys can probably guess, I have been having a wonderful time. I don't know what to tell you guys. There we go. Look at that. Make my mic a little louder. It's probably when I turn away from the microphone is when it starts to get a little bit quieter. It should be good. It should be good. So, I have a couple of things I want to mention before we start the stream here today. First off, if everyone remembers what I said when I started getting back on YouTube, that I was balancing a full-time job and this, I'm not balancing that full-time job anymore. Now, since I am getting more flexible hours in other jobs that's going to be able to pay the same amount, all sorts of stuff. Which means I am now going to have the time needed to balance YouTube and whatever else stuff that I have going on in the background. There might be some times to where some days I can't do anything in the afternoon, but it's fine. It's fine. I am able to control pretty much my own schedule, and I'm able to pretty much do what I need to do to be able to upload videos, go live, all sorts of stuff like that. Now, I will say, there's a good chance that if I do have a lot of live streams, I may not be live for long. Not just because of the fact that I've got stuff that's busy at the nights, but live streaming every single day and doing it for very long periods of time is not something that I've been used to doing. We have to remember, I'm still getting back into the thick of things. So, expecting 24-hour live streams, chat, is probably not going to do it. All right? But, 4-hour live streams, 6-hour live streams, that'll do it. 12 hours at most. All right? 12 hours at most if I think the event is going to continue all the way through. Today is definitely not going to be a 12-hour live stream. I'll tell you that. We'll probably go all the way up until midnight-ish, because I do think there's going to be some stuff that'll happen overnight. And I know a lot of people are going to be talking about how this event is a bust. It's still got some ways into which it could be pretty significant. So don't mind that. Just continue to watch out for that as it goes along. But I do want to say this here real quickly before we get into the majority of the event and what all could be happening. The Twin Cities is done and over with. I know You guys were in a 4 out of 5 on the severe weather scale. It's crazy. But chat, I might be convinced. Minneapolis, St. Paul. I know there is like this superstition about like a weather dome there. I don't know what they got going for them, but I guess their weather dome really just decided to say, you're not getting any thunderstorms. Because realistically speaking, the big significant stuff, that's out of your way, you're done. You don't have to worry about it anymore. So, there you go. That's for the Twin Cities. You guys are done. You guys are good. However, there is still an opportunity. You know, I knew I was forgetting something, chat. I gotta grab this. Move this over here. We're good now. So, folks over here in southeastern Minnesota, we're talking Rochester, we're talking Austin, all the way over to Eau Claire in Wisconsin, as well as La Crosse, Winona, and then even into northeastern Iowa, we're talking Mason City and Decorah. This is the area that I'm watching for the more significant activity over the rest of this evening. The good news is by the time we get to sometime around 1 in the morning Central, pretty much everything up here in the Northern Risk is done and over with. I'll show you guys the outlook here in a second. But this general area right here is what I'm watching. Actually, from this line and east is just, that's pretty much it. And the good news is here, chat, nothing significant has happened so far in the time in which I've been trying to get my stream up and running. So that's some pretty good news there too. But still, all right, do not think that things are done and over with. There is still a way into which storms could be able to try and flip a switch. So we're going to watch that very, very closely as we continue to move on through. I do want to go over real quickly the outlook for severe weather here today, as it is pretty interesting. All right, this is something that honestly, it had a lot of build-up up until this point. If I remember correctly, I think there was a 30% chance for severe weather in the day 4 outlook. And then they ended up doing a day 3 outlook where they made it moderate. Now, a little bit of history on that. There has only been one instance into which a day 3 moderate has not gone high. Only one. But that doesn't mean, or at least I think there's been only one. But for reference, that moderate, I think, was either last year or the year before. It was quite recent. And there was a lot of hype coming into this event. Like, it's going to be one of those events. It's going to be crazy. You know, we're going to have a pretty significant outbreak and stuff like that. And to be fair, we're having a pretty significant severe weather outbreak. But there were a lot of people saying, oh, there's going to be intense tornadoes. Everything is going to be strong. Everything across the board is going to be insane. And let me tell you right now, so far, in the beginning of this event, it has been very, very tame. Over the span of about 3 hours and 17 minutes, it has been very tame. And we hope, of course, that that continues to be the case. But things are settling down, and that's the good news with that. So, though we do have one risk of severe weather up north here in our 4 out of 5 on the severe weather scale, which, as I said, is for portions of Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Iowa. There is also some severe weather down south that is pretty interesting. Some folks over here in the portions of Oklahoma and Texas could be seeing some severe weather. Mainly a hail risk, to be honest with you. Over the next couple hours, there's going to be a lot more storms that are going to form. And a lot of these storms are going to basically try and merge within each other to try and basically produce a lot of hail across the board. But there are some instances here to where we could potentially see a couple of tornadoes. I wouldn't even be surprised if the environment deemed it possible. It could definitely be possible, as I said, for us to even see maybe a strong tornado in this environment. Right now, it's only a 5% chance for tornadoes down there, but there is still definitely a decent chance. There is a decent chance for that to potentially happen down there. So we'll watch out for that. And then we also have a risk of severe weather in between the two, with this severe weather that is heading over into Kansas City. Once again, a lot of large hail within all of these storms, to be honest with you. I think, in my opinion, a lot of these storms could probably get extremely large amounts of hail, and even the sizes of hail to be in upwards of 3 inches, maybe even larger. I definitely think that is possible. We've seen some storms that have produced baseball-sized hail already. So do not be surprised if there was a severe thunderstorm warning that was issued if you're in the path of any of these storms, and they could potentially include golf ball-sized hail at minimum, and it could even be even larger with some of the storms that are a lot more significant. So it is important for folks that could be in the path of these storms for them to take these seriously if the warning is ever issued for your area. So that's the main thing that I wanted to point out with a lot of these storms here. We'll go over the tornado risk real quickly. As I said, the main significant tornado risk tonight, or even just today in general, is supposed to be up north. It's supposed to be in this area. But the good news is that this is the only bit of storms that are really going to give you that significant tornado risk. So you can see pretty much half of the risk has already been covered. As I said, Mankato, Minneapolis, folks that are over west of that as well, you're pretty much done with the significant tornado threat. It's now folks that are out in front of the risk. That would include areas like Eau Claire, La Crosse, Rochester, Mason City, Wausau, and then it'll eventually head further and further to the east. I kind of doubt, to be honest with you, especially with eastward extent, that folks in Green Bay and Milwaukee aren't really going to see, or I doubt that they're going to see a whole lot of significant stuff. Because as the storms continue to move off towards the east, the weather is actually anticipated to be a lot more tame. It's supposed to dissipate more and more and more, and the coverage of these thunderstorms actually just decrease significantly. So, it's not, I'm not saying that, the risk is going to be, completely gone by the time it gets to you. But I really don't think that a 10% chance for tornadoes will actually be realized over into places like Green Bay, like Sheboygan. I know Milwaukee's in a 5%, but a 5% seems more reasonable to me in some of these areas. Heck, if I was at the desk right now, even though, I'm not at the desk, I'm not even in the Storm Prediction Center, period, but I would tremendously shrink this 15% into just this localized area right here. That's pretty much it. If I were trying to look for where the most significant severe weather could be, at least within this area. So, that's kind of the general idea of what we have with this risk here for right now. And yeah, let's do ourselves a favor. Real quickly as I find some cameras for us. So, interesting thing here, chat. I do have the Minnesota Traffic Camera Network up here, which I should definitely move on to my camera map at some point. Which I will, of course, but that's besides the point. All these cameras here on Highway 52, they all pretty much look south, except for this one here. I want to see, though. That one looks northwest. I'll bite into that. That one's pretty good. Thinking about getting into Facebook. Gonna be streaming more often or no? So the good news, chat, as I said in the beginning of the stream, is that full-time job that I was balancing here with YouTube, I finally was able to get done with that, and so now I'm able to get into better hours with some of the jobs that I have, some of the things that I'm doing. So that way I am able to pretty much be flexible and be on YouTube more often. So expect more live streams, expect more videos. I will say, because I'm still getting into the thick of things, I wouldn't expect any 24-hour live streams. That one 18-hour live stream that I had when I was covering Tennessee, that is pretty much the longest you'll see from me this entire year. Until we get to hurricane season. When we get to hurricane season, stuff's going to get a little bit different. All right. But I finally got done with that. That was the whole reason why I was gone, is because I was just trying to get as much stuff done within that job as possible. So that way I could get out quicker. And last week was my birthday. So it was good to see that I was finally able to get out around my birthday. So that way now I'm able to just pretty much do whatever I want with this. And my plan is, of course, to continue to try and be consistent. There is a time in June. There's a week in June into which I will not be able to upload anything because I will be on vacation with my family. And there might be some instances on like Sundays or maybe some other afternoons to where I won't be able to work because it's just conflicts. But pretty much for the most part, I'll be able to at least have some form of content very much so often, if it's not, keyword, if it's not every single day. I'm going to try and upload every single day, and I'm also not going to upload at 9 a.m. anymore. That stuff sucks, all right? Waking up that early, I'm not a morning person. It's just no.
Tornado warning for southeastern Faribault County in south-central Minnesota, western Freeborn County in south-central Minnesota.
If you're in those areas, please get into your safe space, lowest innermost part of your building. Yeah, I am not a morning person, chat. It's just, no. I cannot do it. I cannot do it to save my life. But what I can probably do is I can upload in the late morning. And that's what I'm thinking about doing. Late morning, early afternoon. I think that's going to be around what I'm going to want to upload, or the time of day in which I'm going to upload from now on. That way, I can get through the morning models. The 12Z models can come in. I can be able to give you guys fresh data. You guys will be able to have a video out in time for the afternoon. And, things be working, stuff like that. So that's kind of my plan. And then, of course, by the way, for hurricane season, we'll probably, if my life allows it, we'll probably have 2 videos a day. It won't be any big in-depth videos. We're not going to have huge in-depth videos every single video. All right. But we will have something that will update you guys on what the tracks are for each hurricane and stuff like that. We've got a lot of cool ideas for you guys when it comes to actually forecasting these events. When it comes to the live streams, I mean, I'm starting to get into the phase to where I think I might need to pull out some deep pockets to try and get some chasers. Obviously not chasers that'll talk on the stream, because that'll take a crap ton of money. But you know me, I definitely want to provide you guys with as much insight as possible. And I want to make things at least somewhat enjoyable for you all. So, Alma with the 20 months. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. I'm doing better than I was. I'll tell you what. For about 3 hours, I was trying to get my computer to work today. And 20 minutes ago, I got it to work. So, or at least I got everything to work. For about an hour, it was stuck doing updates, which was so weird because I used my computer yesterday. Um, and then afterwards, a lot of my programs decided not to function, period. Uh, and then after that, Streamlabs was just being an issue. A lot of stuff was just being stupid. So we got it all fixed. We're here now. Hopefully it is not lagging for everyone, or at least the stream's not lagging. I said earlier for the people who are waiting in the waiting room, I was like, you know, knowing my luck, I will probably have some buffering issues on stream. And at this point, I'm willing to take some sacrifices. I'd rather have a stream that doesn't crash, so that way I'm able to just stream, you know, consecutively over time, rather than a stream that just dies out. So that's kind of that's kind of where I'm at right now. I was just looking at the storm here. I didn't even notice your comment, Harley, until I just looked over here about 5 seconds ago. But I saw these thunderstorms that are over here in northwestern Iowa and southeastern South Dakota. I was like, all right, I'm going to just quickly take a look over there because for whatever reason, it looked to me like this storm over here near Paulina, it just, you know, looked like a supercell. And, you know, sure enough, it pretty much is. It's also got a little bit of rotation on it, too. I'm curious to see if it has a tornado possible tag. It does not have a tornado possible tag. I might have to look a little bit more in depth with this storm to be able to have a firm grasp of what is happening with this. But for right now, a severe thunderstorm heading into Paulina, Sutherland, and Primgar here in Iowa. This is in portions of O'Brien County. I would definitely watch out for some quarter-sized hail because that originally produced some quarter-sized hail over in Limars, I believe is how it's pronounced. So most of the tornado weather in the Spain outage, part of the solar storms and flares. So believe it or not, those are actually separated into two things. So the solar storms and the flares, that comes from what is a different type of waves from the sun. And the sun, for weather, that all contributes to heat and stuff like that. The heating of the atmosphere makes things unstable. Of course, the strong damaging winds, both at the surface and aloft, they all kind of coexist within each other. So, no, they are not technically intertwined, but it's... If you were to oversimplify some things, stuff definitely just comes from the sun. I'm also going to try and hydrate some more. That's kind of my goal. My goal for this year is to try and hydrate as much as I can. All right, real quickly, chat. I said I was going to go in depth a little bit on what we're seeing up there in Iowa. I really do kind of want to see what's going on with this. So we'll pull up the mesoscale analysis here. We'll start with our mixed layer cape. And there is some there. We're probably talking about, what, 1,000-ish? A little under 1,000? Is that what we're looking at? We're talking about 1,000-ish. Yeah, 1,000-ish joules per kilogram of mixed layer cape, which is about right. That's good enough for thunderstorms. Our low-level lapse rates are stupidly high, which that kind of tells me things are a little updated. And if I went to a SKU-T map, that would probably tell us that as well. That is stupidly high. Oh my goodness, how elevated is that? Yeah, so that storm that's near Lamar's is definitely elevated. Is definitely elevated. Don't the solar storms cause our beautiful aurora borealises? Yes, they can. It fully depends upon what type of electromagnetic waves that are sent out from the sun. And there's also a pretty big sunspot that is starting to appear on the sun and is starting to come into view of the Earth. If that erupts, if we get a solar flare from that, we could probably see a significant aurora coming up. At least that's what I've heard from some people who know more about auroras than I do. And honestly, I kind of want to get into more of those aurora forecasting. I feel like that would be a cool content idea. And something that I honestly want to learn more about. There's two things that I want to learn more about when it comes to this channel. It's nudger theory, because I people have given me things to look into it and stuff like that, and I just have not had the time to read or watch those videos. You know, that might be an idea for tomorrow if nothing really big happens, although there is a 5% for tornadoes, so who knows what we do tomorrow. But nudger theory, I definitely want to look into a little bit more. And then forecasting auroras. How tough would that be? Making videos on auroras here on this channel. That would be pretty cool. But yeah, that skew T diagram that we're looking at right now, that basically tells me that the dew points at the surface are pretty low, the temperature is pretty high, and because you don't have a lot of moisture at the surface, that means that the storm is a little bit elevated. That tells me that the storm is... If we talk about elevated thunderstorms, what I mean by that is the cloud base is a lot higher above the ground than some of these other storms may be. Meaning, if there were any sort of, rotation that were to develop within this storm, because the cloud base is higher up into the sky, it takes a longer distance for that to travel down towards the ground to be a tornado, of course. And the larger the distance, the more unlikely it is for there to be a tornado. And in this case, it is pretty, it is a pretty wide gap. So, don't dox me. What's up? Welcome to the stream. Is the elevation on the storm why we're seeing basically Jack on ZDR? Either that, or it just could be because the storm is just dying. Could be a possibility. Yeah, the storm is pretty much dying. It was pretty good earlier, and then it just kind of fell apart. Camden, what's up? Welcome to the stream. Snyder, Oklahoma. Let's see if I have a radar out there. I probably don't. At some point I will, though. I think I'm going to move the Des Moines radar out there for right now. There's just so many storms. It might be one of those things to where we just have to... No. I want to go on the radar. Yeah, I appreciate it. We're back, though. We're back. We got done with our full-time job, and now we have flexible hours to be able to do stuff, so... This Snyder, Texas storm, I think is... Yeah, it's got a lot of hail with some elevated rotation on it. If I went real quickly, chat, to a vertical wind profile, I think I'd be able to show you guys what the hodograph is here. And yeah, it's kind of exactly what I expected. It's a lot of veer back veer. Weak lower level shear. Of course, the surface is fine. But it's going to need some boundary interactions for this thing to really fire up. And that's kind of what I was saying earlier on today is if the environment wills it, if there are storms that could be able to feed constructive mergers, it'll get her done. It'll get her done. Will Warren is trash. So I've heard. By the way, I'm glad you guys have been introduced to Tomoyaki Suzuki. Or, not Suzuki, Sugano. Who, by the way, is my favorite pitcher that is on the Orioles. Because that's all the pitchers that we have. Everyone else is injured. Ha 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 ha. Ha. No, I actually left. Minneapolis in the clear now? Yep, they're good. There's probably some storms that'll probably happen overnight, but none of that is really going to be impactful whatsoever. Here, I'll show you guys a loop. I'll show you guys a loop of Minnesota. And 22Z. Look at this. So, actually, even into the overnight tonight, there might be just some scattered showers. But that's pretty much it. Tomo has 6 Ks? Are you serious? That's crazy. I love Tomo. Tomo is amazing. Tomo makes me happy inside. Will I be live tomorrow? So that is a little bit of a good question. At minimum, I will have a video that'll come out at the beginning of the afternoon. But whether or not I'll be live tomorrow is a little bit more of a difficult question. And honestly, there is a small chance that I might not even have a video if the northeastern risk ends up becoming a little bit more significant. I might go chase that. I might, but yeah. Minneapolis, you're pretty good. You don't have to deal with this stuff really anymore. You see this here, chat? You see what I mean? These storms kind of just die out. Oh, look, they finally have the camera switched over. That's pretty nice. Yeah, these storms, once you get to like 7Z, 8Z, they kind of just die out. That is some big hail, though. Sheesh. But I don't know, chat. A lot of mid to me. Imagine they pull a 10 sig in PA. I'd be chasing that in a heartbeat. There is nothing that anyone is going to do to stop me from chasing that. Chat, can I be honest with y'all? What the heck, it's my channel. This, based off of the HRRR right now, obviously you never want to use the model that is within an hour of an event, unless if you're trying to just see the general idea. This morning when I was looking at the models, tell me why Tell me why I thought this was an enhanced risk style an event, of an event. A 3 out of 5 instead of a 4 out of 5. Like, was I the only one that was thinking that? I hopefully was not the only one. And you know what? I'm okay with this being a boring stream. If it's a boring stream, then oh well. So what? I'll just be here and hang out with y'all. There's nothing wrong with that. But everything just looked goodness gracious. I have no idea what happened there. I've got a tear rolling down my eye. My head hurt. I just started coughing. I was like, what the heck was that? No, today just kind of seemed like a 3 out of 5. Consider the following on the traffic camera. See, I've been looking at that every now and then, and I was just like, what the heck is this? Where's my glasses? I got LASIK. LASIK surgery. So now my eyes are very, 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 very. I don't know where I was going with that, chat. I'll be honest. I can see. I can see. That's the short and sweet answer. That. Yeah, last week was my birthday. I'm surprised I've made it to 23. I'm surprised. Yeah, I don't know, chat. It didn't look like a wall cloud to me. I mean, it's this tornado warning that's over here near Albert Lee. I think it's looking like at the forward flank. It's not even looking at the wall cloud. And there was a report of a funnel cloud about 9 minutes ago. So this camera is not really doing a whole lot of justice for us. Like, we're not able to really see what's happening in this storm. If it, they were just shift it to the left. Shift it to the left. It'll be fine. Oh no, don't worry, Shelly. I got you. Don't worry. Don't worry. No, I got LASIK. And honestly, it was probably the best decision for me and my family that I could have made. I've enjoyed life more now that I have better eyesight. I know that I will need reading glasses when I get older. But yeah. And if you guys are worried about like my cough and my tearing up or whatever, I don't know what happened there. I really don't. I had like a headache and like a cough and then like it just I don't know. My body just did some weird stuff right there. It was so weird. It he's gonna be a certified unk. Oh my gosh. Oh boy. It's the crazy thing about all this too is that there have been some things that I have said and like younger people do not understand what I'm saying, and it's because I'm talking about stuff that I knew about when I was a kid or stuff that I've heard from like my parents and whatnot. And they're like, "What are you talking about?" And I'm like, "Oh my goodness gracious, I'm old." Pollen, you know, it probably could be pollen, but I don't think it's too. It hasn't been too bad recently. Not for me, at least. Yeah, this video is not doing the storm justice, and even then, the storm is not doing it justice to itself either. This is pretty sad, chat. Oh my gosh. We're back to the jet. You know, things have not changed. I left the stream. I stopped for about 2 weeks to finish out my full-time job so that way I can start working on YouTube. Be flexible with that. Uh, and now we're back to dad jokes. Things have not changed in the 2 to 3 weeks that I have been gone. Oh, trust me, I love it when Morgan joins the stream. Morgan, he is a character. But it's a fun character. Him and I, alright, funny enough. Obviously, we're still friends and stuff, and we still talk. But we've talked a lot recently. Maybe not within the past week, because it's been my birthday. My birthday week was all last week. And then I went up to Rochester, New York to see someone. If you know, you know. I mean, it's been fun. Hot Mike? Was it, what? One of the Yankees players that did it? That's funny. Tomo's been playing good. I like Tomo. Tomo's like one of my favorite pitchers. Morgan gets all the ladies. I'm gonna have to tell him that. Someone in chat said that he gets all the ladies. That's funny. Now, my full-time job was not what I wanted to do. It was something to help me save up money for college and stuff. Because I did take a little bit of a break. But I am going to go back to college. I'm going to finish out this degree, just get this done and over with. But what the heck was that? Out to the... Jackson Holiday. That ball went 1 foot. Where did I come from? I came back from the dead. That's what I did. I am here now. I'm alive. I am well. I'm done with my full-time job so I can be more flexible on YouTube. And we're back. We back. We back, everyone. Yeah, this camera's just not going to tell me anything. Yep, good to see you too, Kaylee. That is a double for Ramon Mariano. Oh boy. Thank you, Miss Pac-Man. Did I see the baby news? No. Hold up. Hold up. I'm assuming You sent me a message on Twitter. So I'll read it here in a second because you did send me a message. You sent me 2 days ago. That's cool. That's pretty cool. I bet you're excited for that. I bet you're excited for that. I bet you're excited to have a girl. Finally. No more boys. There's only a couple storms here. Well, not a couple. There's a line of storms here in Kansas. There's only one storm here that really is tornadic per se. It's this one south of Abilene, southwest of Junction City. So this would be the only storm to really watch out for in Kansas to be tornadic. But this other one that's over here heading into Jackson County, Kansas, is going to produce a lot of large hail. Probably some golf ball sized hail. Terry with the 4. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Ezra. Wow. That's a pretty unique name. But it's a good unique name. That's pretty cool. Good for you. Good for you. Congratulations. I'm keeping an eye on our camera here, our traffic camera. We got a couple storm chasers that are sitting over here having a whale of a time. I would narrate their life, but we got storms to cover still, so can't exactly do that quite yet. Random severe thunderstorm warning over here in the Sterling City of Sterling Cities, because Sterling City does have a storm every single severe weather event now. That would be heading near the Silver area, as well as Edith and Robert Lee here in Coke County. So, large hail if you're over in Coke County. Some storms north of Abilene that could produce some large hail. Doubt that's really tornadic. Another left splitting thunderstorm over here that's going to just continue to produce large hail in rural portions of Knox and King County in Texas. And then this stuff. That's a left split and a half. So if you're in Hobart, Luggert, Babs, eventually into Rocky and Cambridge, you got some good-sized hail over there. Probably quarters, maybe even ping pong ball sized hail. I wouldn't be surprised, at least. And then we have this thing. This thing north of Frederick. Loves his anime. See, that's kind of what I was thinking. But, yeah. I mean, it is still a really, really nice name. Pretty cute. Typical male humor. Oh, you know me. Love my typical male humor. Someone sent me a scary looking cloud on Twitter. That looks like, honestly, because that's a pretty cool cloud.
Tornado warning for Central Dickinson County in central Kansas.
Ha! We called it, chat. We called it. Things have not changed. Someone sent me a scary looking cloud. It's not exactly... It's definitely, not really a severe thunderstorm or any of that sort. I think it's more just because of the fact that you have some dry air aloft that's interacting with the clouds, and you have like this inversion, and it's just sculpting the clouds. That's what it looks like to me, but that's still pretty cool. There's your tornado warning, smallest tornado warning ever, with a storm that's moving east at 20 miles per hour. And it also produced 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts over here. But tornado warning for Navarre, or Navarre. If you're over there, watch out. As I said, I think that's the only real storm here in Kansas that probably has the best chance of being tornadic. There's a foot of water on roadways at Kansas State. Wait a second, chat. Now I'm curious. All right. And we're going to be curious together. So in Manhattan, there is floods. What the heck is that? I was looking down here and I saw the brown, the grayish. I was like, is that the flooded waters that they were talking about? But no, I couldn't see it. I tried to see it. I could not see it. Can I see view is expired? Well, that sucks. Is there anything that is not expired? That is not expired. That is some runoff right there, chat. That is some water. I don't know what that's supposed to be. That is a pole. That is not what we're looking for. We're trying to see what these storms are doing on the ground. This contrast on this video looks very scuffed, so I'm going to decline that. You know, I didn't realize how green it actually was over there, but that actually looks really nice. Like if we were just not worried about severe storms, like that's actually a nice video. The grass pretty much is all green. There's only brown spots to where cars went over. Maybe, I don't know. I don't have that over where I live. We don't have green like that. No chance. No chance. Yeah, it did almost look HD. That's why I was like, huh. Now that is an intersection here. South of Junction City. It's a weird looking intersection. Wait, hold up, chat. There's a winter weather advisory. Is that what I just saw on the bottom screen? Tell me I did not just see a winter weather advisory. Do I think the event has been overhyped so far? I would say so. Man, this is really telling us all the information. Called Diverging Diamond intersection. It looks like a lot of hassle to me. That's a flood advisory. What is this, chat? Why is my bottom bar? By the way, I like that color. It's like a minty color. That's a tornado warning. Yeah, obviously. We know that. But that's my bottom bar has got some upgrades here, chat. I like this. But that is not what I was looking for, though. Listen, I have no idea where the winter weather advisory is. Let's take a look. Weather.gov always has the answers. That is not what I wanted. Where is the winter weather advisory, chat? Alaska. I guess that makes sense. Where in Alaska? I don't know. I'm trying to find it now. I'm kind of curious. Will the cat break in northern Illinois? Nah, I wouldn't say so. I have no idea where Point Hope or Point Lay is. I also have no idea where Fairbanks, Alaska is either. Oh, it's over here. Yeah, chat, I just have no idea where it's at, period. So I'm just gonna let it go. Hope for the best. What is all of this, chat? Some of this stuff I have never heard of before. Brisk wind advisory? I've... Okay. Chat, wind is cold. Oh, boy. Heavy freezing spray warning. See, that makes sense for, like, boats. I think that's the reason why they have that warning. But brisk wind? Yeah, my guess for heavy freezing spray is when there's a heavy amount of wind and you have boats that go in the water, that water from the sea can like splash up onto the boat and then it could like freeze on the boat. And of course, if you add more weight onto the boat, then it gets to a point to where the boat could sink. Especially if it's on one side of the boat. It could like topple over. That's my guess. But brisk wind advisory. What is that? I don't know. It's funny to me, chat. In other news, the storms up north are not doing much. I am happy this is a boring stream so far. This storm that is over here near Frederick in Oklahoma is dying, but it is turning into the smallest mini supercell I have ever seen. Or at least I think it's dying. Either that or it's just splitting over and over again. We covered a tornado warning on. We covered a tornado warning in Hawaii before. What is this warning? You see, I like this green color, by the way. This green color is pretty nice. I'm not gonna lie. But what does this warning do? Like this, I can understand, right? Because it finishes the polygon. Ew! What the heck is that green? Disgusting. That's kind of uncomfortable to look at, chat. but what is, in other news, what does this part of the warning do? Like, ooh, the two foxes that live out here. You go, watch out. Just like the PDS Gustnado we had earlier. You know, I saw that on Twitter. And he said violent vortices. And I get, the reason why he was, like that. Because he was excited. But man, was that not a good look. Meanwhile, this supercell over here, north of Topeka, is still trying to do stuff. You discovered Roblox Twisted the other day? Where have you been? Alright, chat, I need to know. This is downtown Manhattan. Where are we looking? We're looking southwest.
Tornado warning for northwestern Aitkin County in east central Minnesota, northeastern Crow Wing County in east central Minnesota.
Really? I gotta go all the way up to Duluth's radar. You serious? Yeah, look at this. This is a nice little wall cloud here coming into view. What's up, Shell? Over the past couple of weeks, I got done with my my full-time job. So now I've got flexible hours to do this all the time now. So I'm pretty happy with that. We'll keep that up for the side. So here's this new tornado warning for Aitkin and Crow Wing County here in Minnesota. If you live north of Crosby, or if you live south of Emily here in Minnesota, you need to watch out and get into your safe space because we have a little bit of rotation here. We definitely have something spinning. And a lot of hail with this thing, too. There we go. Yeesh. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what more I could say about this tornadic thunderstorm. One, it's in the middle of nowhere. So, for the 5 people who live here in this warning north of Crosby and south of Emily, watch out. If you're in Brainerd, you're fine. If you're in Cross Lake, you're fine. Pequot or Pequoy Lakes, Jenkins, Pine River, you guys are good. Palisade, you guys are in the path of the storm, but this thing isn't really doing too much. But it is the only tornado warning. You know, this was supposed to be the main tornado threat here, this line, and now there's only 2 severe thunderstorm warnings on it. Now that I said something about it, there's going to be like 5 different severe thunderstorm warnings and maybe 1 tornado warning that'll randomly appear. But, you know, this thing is dying. That's what it is doing. Mesoscale discussion concerning Watch 182. Is that Kansas? No, it's Texas. Risk for very large hail with an increasing tornado risk into the evening from 0 to 02Z. So for the next hour and 45 minutes. New tornado watch will likely be warranted downstream of this line. Yeah, I feel so special right now. Well, there's our 1 severe thunderstorm warning that I mentioned would happen. Don't I feel special, chat? Let's go to our live view here out of Manhattan, Kansas. With our storm here, our little storm that is rotating just a little bit. I'm also going to open my party mix, chat. I've had dinner already, but I want to have a snack. Party mix is pretty good. Biggest bust so far. Yeah. If it doesn't keep up here over the next couple of hours. But there's still a small window of opportunity. So I'm not saying it's a bust quite yet. What the heck is happening upstairs? People beating the crap out of something up there. Big severe thunderstorm warning with a lot of large hail heading towards Atchison. If you're over here in Atchison in Kansas, please watch out. Could this be the one moderate that just doesn't moderate? Yeah. Honestly, I was thinking today it was supposed to be an enhanced risk, but I think they just didn't want to back down because the parameter space was that good. Yeah, okay. Well, the little storm near Snyder decided to not be the little storm that could. Anymore. The unmoderate. I'll tell you what, in 40 minutes, there's not going to be a moderate. There's going to be an enhanced with a 10 sig, and that's it. Right now, there's just a bunch of thunderstorms. That's what we're looking at. Speaking of thunderstorms, I'll go back to the view from Manhattan, Kansas. Have a good night, Terry. What's up, security guard? Nice to see you. I'm going to go back to the radar here in Topeka, Kansas, because that storm near Manhattan is probably going to produce some large hail here over the camera in a second. We'll probably be able to see it. What's up, Crispy? Nice to see you. Am I good? Yeah, I'm good now. Over the past couple of weeks, I had to finish up my my full-time job so that way I can start doing YouTube with flexible hours again. A little bit of rotation here near Skiddy, south of Junction City. I definitely don't see the tornado warning in um, Minnesota on the ground. That would be where the hail core is. I'll point that out here real quickly. Still tornado warning for Aitkin and Crow Wing County here in Minnesota. If you're in this polygon right here, please continue to seek a sturdy structure. But I think what you're looking at is this right here, and the rotation is down on the southern side instead. That is all hail. What you're looking at there is hail, hail, and more hail. And this storm is dumping a lot of it here on the northern side. So I think that's the reason why you're seeing that. But I'm going to move Minneapolis's radar over to La Crosse. That has no rotation whatsoever. That is just wind. What about this storm near Eau Claire? Could be Eau Claire as well, but I think it's Eau Claire. There's a couple areas that could potentially try to spin up, but I kind of doubt it. Real quickly, chat. Oh, that's a good point. I should get rid of the pin message by now. Yeah, since before the stream for like about three and a half ish hours, I was trying to get my computer working, and I wasn't having a great time. Sounds good, Velocity. Have a good night. Get some good sleep. Did I see the Beast in Nebraska last night? I did. It's good thing it was out in the middle of nowhere. That's one thing I gotta say about that. A train was tipped over? That's crazy. Kind of convenient how it went through during the thunderstorm. The storm is still young. Seems legit. Speaking of that same storm, it just went severe warned. So, that is a severe thunderstorm warning. We casually have 20 severe thunderstorm warnings right now, by the way. So we definitely have an abundance of severe weather going on. %5 tours are just cursed at this point. Well, I think that's the reason why the Storm Prediction Center wants to add in the SIG risks, the additional levels to SIG risk. I think there's better ways of doing it, or showing it on the map. But what do I know, right? Looked like an empty coal train. Yeah, that would probably do it. Think tomorrow will pop off better. Tomorrow might be the same as today. Yeah, tomorrow, if I can pull it up. Tomorrow consists of this. For those of you who are wondering if I'm getting severe weather, I'm barely on the border of the thunderstorm and the 1 out of 5. Barely. If this can turn into a 5% chance for tornadoes, who knows, I might chase. But big 2 out of 5 on the severe weather scale with some 3 out of 5s in between. Tornado risk is small, but there is a small chance for, or there is an elevated risk, I should say, for tornadoes over here in this portion of Texas and Oklahoma. And a very small risk up here in the Great Lakes Northeast region. I was going to say, Kaylee, you had your severe weather. You want more, huh? Tip the engine, those are like 500 pounds. I guess it depends upon where the originating, what thing tipped first. Because you can have momentum where you have car after car after car tip. And because they're all connected, they all could just go down. Kind of like a domino. Don't worry about it, Shell. I actually encourage other people. If I'm not on, I encourage y'all to go look at other people's content. You know, obviously I want you guys all to myself. But we're all trying to do the same thing. We're all trying to, you know, get information out in our own way. So, it's just a preference as to what type of information and how it's presented. Everyone's got their strengths, everyone's got their flaws. I definitely have some flaws. Who we kidding? But small craft advisory. Yeah, the boats. The boats. There's gonna be some pretty funky colors on here. It's pretty cool though. Some of these colors are pretty wacky. Strong damaging winds are starting to head into Eau Claire. I think there could be a new severe thunderstorm warning for southern Eau Claire County and northern Trempealeau County here in Wisconsin for Foster, Osseo, and Strum. They could extend it further into Jackson County and maybe even into Clark County too. But I'm looking at this Boeing segment here in the line. Could even be a spin up within this too, but some strong damaging winds could sit right within that area. Sup, Misty? What does IEM Bot have for us? A new tornado watch. They issued it for Wisconsin and small portions of Minnesota and Iowa. What? I'm not sure I believe all that. I'll let you guys guess what the probs are. We can do the prob game if you guys want to, but I'm not sure I believe all that. I'm not too sure about that. Hmm. That's weird. All right, prob game. It was 60-40, by the way, so Misty did get it right. Followed by Matthew and Khan. Yeah, I'm not sure I believe 60-40. I believe 50-30. 50-30 seems a bit more realistic to me, but anything else? A little too much for me. Reports of building damage in Mayetta. Hmm. Yeah, to be fair, Kaylee, I would have guessed that as well. 50-20 is something that I would have 100% guessed. But what do I know, I guess? What do we all know? He is a thief, huh? He always seems to be stealing something. Shame. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know, chat. This is some left splitting banana type stuff from these storms over here. This thing is going bananas. Rotating wall cloud? Yeah, no. Nope. You are not fooling me with that. Goodness gracious. That might be a tornado warning here soon for Geary County and Waubonsee County. Sounds good, security guard. Strong tornado from the KRX radar in Wisconsin. Strong tornado. Oh, jeez. Yeah, Mondovi definitely did have a strong tornado here. See, I knew something could potentially be possible here. I thought they were going to issue a severe thunderstorm warning, but no. They probably should have issued a tornado warning here, because this thing is definitely a tornado that's on the ground. That's a debris ball, too. Look at that here, chat. See this? The reflectivity even says so. Yeah, tornado on the ground over there. If you're northeast of Mondovi, if you're near Brackett and Foster, get into your safe space if you haven't already. This is getting close to Osseo. Cameras. At this pace, it'll head to Brackett. That is a new tornado warning.
Tornado warning for Eau Claire County in west central Wisconsin.
Man, some of these... So we got Matthew, Michael, and Andrew. Goodness gracious. In the chat. Got all the brothers here. All the people going around. Yeah, I would have a decent view for you guys, but I think we're just going to have to stick with this one that's on the ground. But yeah, that is a tornado. That is a big enough debris signature. And it was a pretty deep debris signature, too. I mean, look at that there, Chad. That's pretty dark. And it just kind of exploded. And as quickly as it formed, went out. I appreciate that, Andrew. And it definitely looked like it gusted out, too. This is definitely one of those, definitely one of those spin-ups that would occur within our bow echo, to where we have some, spinning on the backside. Either that or this is an embedded supercell here within the line. But that is a pretty decent tornado here that just spawned. Hopefully folks that are over there are okay, but the storm is now going to head towards I-94. If you live near I-94 near Brackett and Foster, you need to get in your safe space. What's up, April? Nice to see you. Thank you very much for the birthday wish. It seems legit, Michael. Michael with the 2, thank you so much. This is feeling like a little... Chat, if you are wondering what that all means, I'll be honest, I don't exactly know myself, but we just kind of go along with it. So yeah, 2 tornado warnings right now at this time. I have a feeling this one tornadic thunderstorm up here in northern Minnesota is not really going to last all that much longer. Andrew with the 2, thank you so much, really do appreciate it. Just found this in Matt's pocket. Something wrong, y'all. Boy. Thank you for the 2, as I said. When was my birthday? It was last Wednesday. It was on the 23rd. April with the 20. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. My goodness. Thank you so much. Yeah, I had my birthday dinner on Saturday. We celebrated it on the weekend because my dad's birthday was yesterday. So we all decided to just celebrate on the same day, which is what we typically do. Got me some hibachi. You guys know me. You know, funny enough, 2 years ago, my 21st birthday was probably the best birthday I could have. Not because I was able to drink, but because I was finally able to book a hotel in every single hotel. So I was legal in that sense. I was pretty happy. All the things I can do with that. Opie gave me permission to share this here. Oh, that's funny, Kaylee. Oh, boy. I'm gonna watch that in a bit, Ella. The hot mic. But that seems pretty funny. Ugh. Yeah, I'll tell you what though. Chasing and then finding a hotel after has been pretty nice. I will fully admit. This is some good stuff. Then I don't have to drive all across creation to have to get back home. Evening, Bunsy. Nice to see you. I think this thing might be trying to consolidate again. We could maybe see a tornado near Brackett and Foster. So watch out for that if you're over here on I-94. What happened to the Orioles offense? Well, we're injured. But on the other hand, we're just not clutch anymore. We're boring. That's the best way I can put it. Yeah, our leadoff hitter is injured. Our third baseman is injured. Our outfielder that we signed, O'Neill, is injured. 3 of our starting pitchers are injured. We have Charlie Morton. End sentence. Yeah. Yeah, Andrew. I just saw your comment. Basically, yeah. Maryland with the 20. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Thank you. I appreciate the fact that you guys do care. That's another tornado that's going to happen here near Brackett and Foster, by the way. It's going to happen. But thank you so much. I really do appreciate that, Marilyn. And then Matthew with the 2. Thank you so much. I do appreciate that. My team will be back better. Not with our current management. And plus, Cedric Mullins is our only player that wants to play. Yeah, if you're in Brackett or Foster, you really need to watch out. This is a pretty strong storm here that's going to be moving on through. And honestly, we can look at it through the camera here. I'll tell you what, chat. Party mix is pretty good. Orioles fall off is crazy. The Brandon Hyde experience. The Mike Elias experience. I'll tell you what. You want to know how bad the Baltimore Orioles are doing? Search up 3 players. All right. Trevor Rogers, Connor Norby, and Kyle Stowers. Do that for you all if you're interested in baseball. And put in chat what your reaction is to all 3 of those players. Just go look up their stats. Trust me. Storms are now starting to hit the camera. Where a tornado was reported with this storm about, what, 10-ish minutes ago? 15 minutes ago? Oh, dang it, Gunner. Gunner Henderson, your fall off needs to be studied. You make me sad. We're gonna go back to Kansas, check these storms out. Because this storm over here in Kansas, west of Volland, still looks pretty nice. I can't lie. I had pineapple earlier. Can't go wrong with fruit. Big ol' severe thunderstorm heading near St. Joseph in Missouri, as well as I-29. Oh, trust me. I don't even know anymore what this thing is going to tell me. Some of this stuff here is just, it's pretty funny. I'm just along for the ride, just like you guys. I look down at the bottom bar down there, and I'm like, brisk wind advisory? What? So, how's our severe looking? Today looks pretty mid. There's only been one storm that's really produced a strong tornado, from the looks of it. And it happened about 10-15 minutes ago. Uh, uh, can you not? Can you not? Can you not? Well, it seems as if Oklahoma's severe weather event and the potential for tornadoes have come alive. What did I originally think of today? Today was supposed to be an enhanced risk. At least that's in my opinion. It looks like we are looking to see what is happening with this camera. Turn around. That's a nice view. Is the Cape still high? Yes, especially here in Oklahoma. Ella, if you're still here, this is where the Orioles choke. Gregory Soto's in the game. That is a wall cloud, chat. That's on that tornadic thunderstorm that is, or at least it looks like a wall cloud or a shelf cloud. Probably is a shelf cloud. That's near a CO in Wisconsin. Mesoscale discussion concerning Tornado Watch 183. Man, I'll tell you what, this camera's taking a beating. Mm. Chat, I have a funny story for you guys. Okay, first off, L umpire, that is upper middle part of the strike zone. They call that a ball. The ump is cheeks. The ump is cheeks. The ump is cheeks. So, oh, they K'd him anyways. Oh, that's fine. So, the night before Easter, I went to Easter Vigil Mass. Because I'm a Christian, of course, Catholic, and I don't usually go to Easter Vigil Mass for the reason in which it's the longest Mass of the year. I hate it, but oh well. Judge's home run because it was foul. No, I didn't. I didn't at all. It was during a time to which I think it was either a 10 sig or it was a 5% chance for tornadoes that day. And oh great. Thanks, Soto. I can't remember what was happening in the world of weather in like Oklahoma. But anyways, there was this significant storm that happened in southern Pennsylvania, northern Maryland, and even into portions of West Virginia that just rode the border of the Mason-Dixon line. And let me tell you, first off, I knew something was wrong when I started seeing the reports of damage that was done in the path of the storms, or in the wake of the storms, I should say. And I was like, oh boy, this is probably not your typical severe thunderstorm warning. Chat, they damage threat destructive that thing for 80 miles per hour. It went over the church that I was in. And I kid you not, we lost power for about an hour. An hour and 10 minutes. Something like that. And we did mass with no power. Just nothing but candles and singing. Which is kind of crazy to think about. But that's besides the point. After mass, I went out. And my family and I just decided to drive around town. Because what I didn't tell you guys was during mass, it actually blown one of the doors open and we had to lock it. I actually had to hold the door shut. And the damage that it did across the town was pretty surreal. It was pretty crazy, to say the least. There was a lot of damage done. Trees down everywhere. Oh, thanks, Gregory Soto, for a middle slider that probably got destroyed by Austin Wells. Probably. But yeah, thank you. But there was just so much damage. People who had mobile homes had damage to their homes, especially with trees falling on top. It was just... It was a crazy experience, to say the least. I'll tell you what, honestly, I was very surprised with how intense the storm actually was. I didn't think it would get to 80 miles per hour, but it did. At least in my opinion, I thought it got close. About, I think it was 5 miles away, there was a 74 mile an hour wind gust report. And then another 10 miles away to the east of that was an 80 mile per hour wind gust report.
Tornado warning for southeastern Chippewa County in west central Wisconsin, eastern
Oh.
Eau Claire County in west central Wisconsin.
They just extended it, chat. Not anything atypical. But yeah, that's pretty much what my night before Easter was. By the way, Ella, did I not say that this is where we lose the game because Gregory Soto is in to pitch for us? And the worst part about it is Brandon Hyde is not going to pull him. No, he's not going to pull him because why would he? Felix Bautista hasn't pitched in like over a week, and yet we're not going to bring him in for a 4-out save. No. Stupid franchise. Stupid team. This is why we need to fire Brandon Hyde, because I'm done. I really am done. Cannot do anything right. See, Ella, Brandon Hyde does that every game. Every game. The lineups, terrible. The in-game decisions, terrible. Like, it's just... It's that bad. I hate it. Have I had any UFO experiences in the past couple of years? No, I don't think I have. Not that I've seen or really gone out of my way to look for it, but I haven't really noticed any. Oh, don't worry, Ella. Trust me when I say if we were completely healthy, there would be no way that we would be this bad. There's a good chance that we would have a better record than you guys. It's obviously hard to say that because, you guys are 17-11. But there's some games that we just flat out sucked.
Tornado warning for northwestern Clark County in central Wisconsin.
He struck him out! That's only one out! We need one more. And of course, Cabrera is just going to absolutely, nuke this ball to China. Send it halfway across the world. Oh my god. How do you ground out to third on a middle slider? I know that's your favorite player, Ella, but my god, thank the Lord. Middle slider. Middle in almost. And you did not nuke it. Thank God. And it's not like left field is terrible anymore. Left field is actually in, so you could nuke pitches over there now. You have no wall. That was a middle in, almost middle slider. Thank goodness. Well, chat, we have half the amount of severe thunderstorm warnings that we had earlier. So obviously Spotter Network is not officially used by the National Weather Service anymore, but it's good to have. Person notes on this storm near Olustee in Oklahoma of that they observed an ugly wall cloud with minimal rotation. So wouldn't that just be Scud? Messy, broad, rotating wall cloud. Wall cloud to my east. Wouldn't that just be Scud and not a wall cloud? Chat, what is this? Chat, why I just laughed is because there is something on the radar screen that I found was hilarious. Okay. So chat, hear me out. So originally, there were 2 storms. And they warned both of them. Damage threat considerable. Simple, right? Guys are with me? The first storm died out. Little small storm. You know, the typical life cycle of a storm. The other one dies out, heads towards Hobart, does stuff, right? We have a second storm that is down here near Benjamin and Crowell. And then we have a new storm that begins to develop, right? So they warn the Crowell storm, and then they warn the new one that is near Altus and Olustee. And now we have a couple severe thunderstorm warnings, right? Well, now, because this is just one giant hodgepodge, the National Weather Service said, you know what? I don't care anymore. I'm just going to warn the whole thing. I kind of want to look. I kind of want to look to see how many people live within this box. I'm going to pull it up here, chat. Don't worry. Wow, strikeout merchant Ryan Mountcastle. Get traded, boy. Get ready to learn Seattle. So it's not a whole lot of people. It's not as much as I thought it would be. It's about 35, almost 36,000. But it's still kind of funny. Not as much as the severe thunderstorm warning over in like St. Joseph in Missouri. But it is still kind of funny. He fouled off that changeup. Crazy. Heston Kjerstad is really good with fighting off off-speed pitches. If you throw him nothing but fastballs, he'll strike out. Gregory Soto, over his past 6 appearances, 4.1 innings pitched, 9 hits, 6 runs, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts, 12.46 ERA, and 2.769 WHIP. Yeah, buddy, get ready to learn China, The wall cloud wrote back in a form of a storm. I don't know at this point. Reports of flooded streets in Altus. Got him on a changeup. That was definitely... That was a good pitch there. Thanks, Ramon. The answer is no, Aiden, because Aaron Judge is Aaron Judge, and there's nothing that Felix Bautista can do. Felix is still a little... He's a little shaky. That is true, Kaylee. Whenever I go to McDonald's, I always get a blue raspberry frozen Fanta. It's just... good. Perfect. So it is Felix Bautista time. Turn back the clocks. It's mountain time. That is an elevated storm to heck and back. That is a test message. Oh, lucky Kaylee. We don't have Jack in the Boxes over here, but one thing I can say is that Jack in the Box and McDonald's are kind of in that, like, they're okay. Felix. That might be a spin up south of Creta and Olustee. We might see a tornado warning here in Jackson County, Oklahoma. That's right. Middle to Trent Grisham just to pop out to short. All right, this is where Aaron Judge destroys my life. He's gonna nuke it to left field. It'll probably go 430. 98! Come on, big man. Throw that splitter. That was not the splitter. Big old left split heading to Mangum for baseball-sized hail. Yeah, that's a lot of hail with that, too. Look at the reflectivity there. Sheesh! That's some paint right there, Felix. That's some paint on that splitter. He fouled off that splitter? Are you kidding me? I say you go upstairs for a ball. Oh, never mind. Do 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 do. I was gonna say, how did he foul off the first splitter? All right, it's not done yet, but we need to stop Bellinger. That is not a strike. Yeah, we can't use the B word yet, but it is getting close. Come on, Felix, that's not a strike. I was about to say, Elo, what can go wrong will go wrong with this baseball team. I'm not celebrating completely until the game is over. Ha! Ha! Final strike. Please, sir, Felix. Slam the door if you can. Please. Yeah, I feel like that's safe. Pretty soon, we could call the northern mode a bust, and then just say the southern mode is a question mark. Ah! I'll look at it here in a second, Caleb. Something to watch. Storm slowly intensifying. Yeah, maybe so. Someone said on Spotter Network in the middle of Interstate 35 is reported by this guy. It said, notes, here lays my hopes and dreams on the side of the road in Iowa. So Lie in caps and then Oa. Felix was feeling it. Man, that was a crazy splitter on Judge. He got Judge. That was a crazy splitter that he threw. Yeah, Iowa definitely something. Okay, so I have an epiphany about our central Iowa mode. Our central Iowa mode might be elevated right now, but that could change a little bit later. Right now, there's a good bit of inversion, and it kind of stays that way for a little bit. We'll have to see. They kept the moderate.
Tornado warning for northeastern Clark County in central Wisconsin.
See, I break the rule to get a general idea of what could happen, not with specifics. But this is some mid stuff right here. I'll go back to the 18ZH and there's one little storm out 1Z that has not formed. Move my Duluth radar to say Des Moines. Yeah, that was 98 upstairs. Felix is starting to get his. He's starting to get his velocity back. People are doing the report card. Chat, I agree with you. I'm disgusted. I'm disgusted. Alright? You thought you were disgusted? I'm disgusted. This event. Listen. Alright? If I knew any better, I'd go to sleep right now. But there's stuff in Oklahoma that I kind of want to look at and watch. Should the moderate have been a different area? Moderate shouldn't exist tonight, period. Let's put it this way. A 10 sig does the same exact thing for tonight. Debris signature in northwestern Iowa. That storm is elevated. That's not a debris signature. That's hail. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. And the reason why I say it's elevated, dew point's 57, temperature is 70. Or you can go 75, 55. That works too. But yeah, from Sioux Falls, KFSD, that thing ain't doing anything. A lot of hail. A lot of hail don't get impaled. Yeah, Des Moines is supposed to not have an S, I don't think, if I remember correctly. By the way, 44 minutes ago, Matthew with $2 super chat says hi. Hi. Sorry if I was distracted. I definitely didn't see it. I apologize. What in the heck are these storms over here near Topeka doing? Chat, I think we have a sky camera out of Topeka. Yeah, West Topeka. There's a storm that's heading near Topeka that I'm probably going to look at here in a second, but it's got one of the weirdest hooks, the weirdest rotations. I'll share with the class. French fry, solo leveling is pretty good. Trust. And if you're gonna watch Rise of the Shield Hero, only watch the first 18 episodes. Do not watch season 2. I have not even watched season 3. I'm not interested. Just cannot will myself. Listen, they butchered a lot of the material, and it just didn't resonate with me. Like, I don't know. Goddess Turtle arc was just kind of meh. Bro, the Panthers tied it up. It's going to go to overtime. Playoff hockey, by the way, the best thing ever. Best thing ever. I love playoff hockey. As a hockey player myself. Oof. So somewhere in this is another report of a wall cloud. Wall cloud getting tighter and more organized straight to my west near Olusty. Well, that is definitely a supercell, chat. Not like I'm there, but I'll agree to that. Did they just score another goal? Seth Jones leading slap shot. Oh my god. The Panthers have taken the lead. You're more hooked on the hockey commentary than the weather right now? I don't blame you.
Tornado warning
Jackson
for
County?
East Central Jackson County in southwestern Oklahoma, northwestern Tillman County in southwestern Oklahoma.
That's not too surprising. This thing looks like it's gonna be tornadic. Tornado warning for southwestern Oklahoma. So we don't exactly have a camera over here, so we kind of just have to hope for the best. But we do have something in Lawton from range. So that's something good to come back on. We'll keep the West Topeka camera up, though. Man, that hook is just pretty crazy, to be honest with you. Hmm. Might need more water here soon. That's not. Yeah, no. Did not think it was. Never let Minnesota cook up a risk again? I guess so. Speaking of cooking, Florida Panthers. Iowa and Lysota. Yeah, seems legit. Might be an unwarned tornado going towards Topeka. It's hard to tell. See, that's why we got our camera right here in front of us. This is a live look in West Topeka, where there might be something, but it's not. It looked a lot better earlier. It really did. Now it's just kind of a mess. I'll be honest. That's what this is. Minnesota ain't no Oklahoma. Well, to be fair, Oklahoma wasn't anything over the past couple of years until, what was it? 24? 2024, the year of Oklahoma. Is Minnesota, Iowa, Wisconsin a bust? I mean, I wouldn't call it quite yet. Still got a little bit of time before things happen, but that outflow boundary out in front of the line definitely does not look great. That is an outflow boundary out in front of the line. That tells me wind, not tornadoes. I'm going to look at something here, chat. I'm going to look at the wafts. I don't think the WAFs even picked up on the storms in Iowa. Did I see the Nebraska tours yesterday? I did. I did. Thank goodness they mostly happened out in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, Panthers complete the comeback. Oh my goodness. Yeah, sheesh. Well, that gusted out quick. The heck happened to that? Well, we might have a nudger here soon. Or just another merge. But we might have a tornado here within the next 30 minutes. That might give me enough time to get some water. Everyone can get a water break, huh? Joplin got a tornado, but they did not get Joplin. Yeah, chat, I'm with you all. I'm getting water real quick. I don't want to lose my voice tonight. Everyone, hey, you know what, chat? You see, let's see. See this area right here? Watch that spot for me. Tell me if anything crazy happens right there. I'm getting water. Did anything crazy happen there, chat? Anything crazy happen there? I'm hoping you guys are honest. Another spin up? Little area rotation, I guess. Excuse me. Excuse me. New tornado warning.
Tornado warning for
Probably Wisconsin.
northwestern Wood County in central Wisconsin,
Yeah.
western Marathon County in central Wisconsin.
Wow. Panthers are kind of crazy. UFO happened. Funnel, shelf cloud, something weird. Ghostbusters. Chat, you guys are just as bad as that air quality alert that just appeared on the screen. What the? The wind advisory. What is this thing? I don't even know anymore, chat. I give up. I give up. So that new tornado warning is for Marathon County. Why? I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I can move the Sioux Falls radar, though. I'm going to move it to Green Bay. Ugh. I've got several songs stuck in my head. My brain is just in full ADHD mode right now. And I am so just trying to fight back thinking about the songs. But it is just like there are so many songs that I would just love to like hum. Cuz usually what I do whenever I have songs that are stuck in my head, I just like say the parts over and over just to try and, get it out of my head. Cuz in my mind repetition gets, gets that out of the way, but what do I know? That's crazy. Ella, are you still in chat? If you are, in spring training, Tomoyaki Suzuki faced off against Judge and walked him, and he got booed. So he joked through an interpreter that he made sure not to walk Judge tonight. And even though he gave up 2 hits, he also struck him out. So that was pretty cool. That's pretty funny. Iowa Cell is considering the following. What? Can it just not? Oh, come on. Are you serious? Why? Why do you do this to me? It is right on the border of the dry line. That is why. What the heck? Oh yeah, that is some destruction. What the heck? Ouch. Just pop my elbow. Yeah, the Cavaliers just destroyed the Heat. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Packers fans should definitely watch out. Was Minnesota overhyped? Just a little teeny bit, but that was only because everyone kind of thought that it was going to go high after the day 3 moderate, but forgot that last year was a day 3 moderate that didn't go high, and everyone was like, oh. Did elbow feel funny? Yes. Felt like there was a bubble right in it. I was just like, needed to pop it. Something of the sort. DRG, what's up? Talladega killed. How was it? How was Talladega? Sounds fun as heck.
Tornado warning for
Cass?
northeastern Cass County in southwestern Iowa.
Wow. Not too surprising, but they should have warned it earlier when it was still strong. We'll have to see. I have not seen the Minecraft movie, chat. I know there's a meme with Chicken Jockey and stuff like that. I have not seen the movie. I heard it was garbage. And, yeah. Did I feel like it should have been a day 3 moderate? I'll be honest with you, I was not paying attention to weather on Saturday. I was not. Friday and Saturday. Friday, I was coming home from Rochester because I visited a certain someone up there. And then I watched the Capitals Canadiens game. That was pretty sad. I hated that game. And then the next day, I did a couple of things around the house. And then we went to my birthday dinner. That's right. We went to go get hibachi. I gained 6 pounds from that, by the way. I love me some hibachi. If you thought that I didn't like hibachi, if you thought that I would lie about that, I weighed myself, and I gained 6 pounds alone from just that one dinner. I just shoved food. That's all I did. Big sell over Altus looks to be heading to the west of OKC in about an hour or two. That sounds about right. It's kind of crawling to an extent, but yeah. That's pretty cool, TRG. I've never been to any of the races in person, but I was out on the track of both Daytona and Charlotte. And I went in a car and they drove us around on the track and stuff like that. It was pretty cool. I don't extensively watch NASCAR, but I could, watch it just because. I've done it a couple of times. My dad, he works for Martin's Potato Rolls, and Martin's Potato Rolls actually had a sponsored car completely. Like, it was painted in Martin's Potato Rolls for a race. It was I think it was a month ago, something like that. I can't remember. We were watching that race, and it was something that I could watch. It's not like I was bored. If I was there in person, I probably would be a little bit more bored, but I would definitely go to one of those races just to know what it feels like. And the only other closest track to me is Dover. I'd have to go to Dover in order to see anything. Oh. Mesoscale discussion for Tornado Watch 182. That would be the one down south, right? Yes, it is. What does it say about our small supercell tornado potential is likely peaking over the next hour or two? Wonderful. Cool. I definitely feel special. But that's pretty cool that you went to Talladega. Pretty cool. The Wasps has got to have a new run. No. But it does have new storms that are forming to the west of... Oh, wow. So it does have some form of initiation again west of Des Moines. Oh, I don't doubt it, TRG. I don't doubt it. My thumb just popped. Oh my goodness. What is happening with my... my being is just weird. Farmer Matt, what's up? 37 months of the tornado tracker. That's kind of insane. 37 months. Wow, wow, wow. I could get a Blue Sky account. Many would follow me there. I'm not sure how active I would be on Blue Sky. Because I don't really go on social media and post too much. Now, I definitely should. That's something that I should change. Like, I go to social media to scroll. I definitely should go to social media while I scroll to post. But, I mean, I have a Blue Sky account. I just don't use it. Yeah, the only reason why I use X as much as I do is just because of familiarity. I will admit, though, I kind of hate what X is becoming. I'm not even talking about the politics and stuff like that. Like, there's just so many bots, and the For You page is so crap. Because it feels like the only way that you can profit off of X, if you're just a person in general, is by doing, like, OnlyFans stuff. And the amount of times I've seen, like, OnlyFans people under memes and stuff like that, or people who have sold out for advertisements for like people who do OnlyFans. It just is like, it's really annoying. Don't get me wrong, I respect the grind, but I really don't want to see like stuff like that. It's it's pretty annoying. I just want my memes. I want my memes, I want my content, I want to just look at stuff. Stop recommending me, stuff like that. Message from a website can do a message on Blue Sky? Huh. Interesting. I'll look into it. Yeah, there's so many bots. There's so many OnlyFans people on it now. I pretty much hate it. Have a good night, Kaylee. Enjoy your sleep, enjoy your rest. Get some good sleep. Talk to you at some point. It's a lot of lightning with this storm heading in Topeka. Instagram isn't any better. Believe me when I say Instagram is genuinely as bad as X, but the ceiling is so much higher than X, than Twitter. Because obviously you follow meme pages for meme pages, right? But when they sell out for OnlyFans girls, you just unfollow the meme page and you just find a new meme page and you just keep going until cycle never ends. But I have been following some pages that have been less memes and more just like really good content that I like, and it's made Instagram a lot better for me, at least. So I don't know, I'm kind of in an interesting predicament because on one hand I absolutely hate, you know, OnlyFans with a passion. I will not entertain anything OnlyFans. But at the same time, I've got a pretty good strategy of being able to get memes without having to feel like I'm getting, bombarded by. You get what I mean. It's just. Enough is enough. Is that construction? It is construction. Mwah. I think this camera's looking the wrong way, chat. YouTube has the same issue too. It's very annoying. I guess it just depends upon what you do. I'll tell you what, though. Oh, that is... Oh, we are sticking to this like glue, chat. We are sticking to this like glue. Yeah, we're doing that. That's a lot of windmills, by the way, around here. Those red flashing lights, it is not, you know, they are not UFOs. Anyways, back to what I was about to say. Lately, all right, I know this thing has probably been dead for a lot of you for about 8 years. But over the past year and a half, I've been really getting into it, especially over the past, say, 6 months. 6 months. Pokemon Go is so fun for me. It really has brought me back into how good you know, how fun Pokemon is. Pokemon to me is more than just catching monsters. The battling mechanic has always been the best thing out of Pokemon, even in the DS games or, you know, the Nintendo Switch games. And I'm just really into battling. I'm really into, you know, getting best Pokemon.
Tornado warning for West Central Comanche County in southwestern Oklahoma, East Central Jackson County in southwestern Oklahoma, South Central Kiowa County in southwestern Oklahoma, northwestern Tillman County in southwestern Oklahoma.
So that's an extension. Excuse me, if you live in Snyder, Oklahoma, you need to get in your safe space. Supercell heading in your general vicinity. But no, like, they've brought out a lot of good Pokemon. Like, Kyurem Black and White is in the game. And I just, first off, Kyurem Black was my favorite Pokemon in Black and White, too. So, and I use that in competitive Pokemon in, like, Sun and Moon, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, Sword and Shield. Like, it was, you know, it was pretty cool. But, you know, the battling mechanic and being able to get, you know, the best Pokemon to fight against, you know, different Pokemon in raids. And now I'm starting to get into the Dynamax and the Gigantamax raids. I got a shiny Entei, a shiny Dynamax Entei. And I'm really hoping that when we are able to increase stats, I'm hoping I can be able to have enough to increase the stats of that. Because if I can take that and turn it into a Shundo, like, that's pretty broken. So, people are saying the Northern Risk is absolutely a bust, but this is, let's put it this way. I'm still waiting for this storm here near Adair, which is what we're looking at with our live view. I'm still waiting for this thing to try and do something eventually. It probably will die out. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, that's my thoughts on Pokemon Go. And honestly, it's really fun to play. And I even know people, like people in my local community. Community. Funny enough, I saw my ex playing and immediately wanted to just run away. I was like, nope, Not even. Not even gonna entertain that. It was so funny because I told the people who were playing with me, because after she left with her now boyfriend, I guess, because she brought a guy, and they left, they like walked away. I told my friend, like, you know, of all the things that I expected to happen today, I did not expect to see her. And it was ironically, it was the one that I turned. I'm gonna openly admit this, chat, and you have my permission to laugh because I laugh at myself all the time about it. I make fun of myself all the time about it, but I guess I can't make fun of it anymore because I'll just say what I have to say. I turned her gay, chat. I don't know how I did it, but I did. So she went out with a girl immediately after we didn't work out after a date. And yeah, now I guess I can't say that I turned her gay anymore. Now she's just bi. I guess. I don't know. I don't know. But the point being is it was very weird seeing her there. And it was also very weird knowing that she hasn't changed because I immediately recognized her. But there's a good chance that she did not recognize me, and I was very happy about that. I was very happy about that. I think it helps that I got LASIK, chat. I don't have glasses anymore. Oh, absolutely. I'm happy that she's happy. You know? Absolutely. She could be, do whatever she wants. I'm happy for her. All right. I've got no issues. But it still felt pretty weird to see her there. I knew she liked Pokemon. That's one of the reasons why I thought that we could have worked back then. I knew she liked Pokemon. I had no idea that she had a Pokemon Go. It was weird. Very weird. Thank God. Thank God that's done and over with, though. High school was a weird environment, period. I definitely was the weirdest West Virginian. Besides the fact that I like meteorology, I also played ice hockey. And both of those are not any sort of West Virginian like at all. So you just add the Pokemon and then you just have the weird. I don't know. I definitely am the weirdest West Virginian. I'm not a West Virginian anymore, though. Been gone since 2019, but I definitely was the weirdest West Virginian at that point. What's up, John? I'm doing alright. Today's event is just pretty slow. Pretty meh. Just living the dream. The same old, same old. There we go. That's pretty funny, Colin. I plead the fifth, but that's pretty funny. I will say, I do get jealous of the guys that play Pokemon and they bring their girlfriend out to the Pokemon events. Like, man, be nice to have that. Ugh. I have thought about it once or twice. Models were showing that though. Oh, absolutely. Don't get me wrong. If it was my choice, this would be an enhanced risk instead of a moderate risk, but it's not my choice. Ah. They're coming out with some cool stuff in Pokemon too. Let's just say at the end of June, all right, I am going to be on Pokemon Go and I'm going to be doing all sorts of stuff. There we go. Yeah, you know how it is. It's that time of night to start yawning over and over again. Two-Z run of the Wafts is coming out. Thought that was a funnel, and then you realize there was a crumb on your screen. That's wonderful. That tornado warning has been canceled in Iowa, so now there's only just the one tornado warning in Wisconsin, and then the one that is over, or the two that is over in Oklahoma. Really, this one in Wisconsin should not be a tornado warning, but, you know. Go back to the part of what do I know. Everybody. Oh. That is an interesting picture to freeze on. It's a lot of lightning with that storm, though. Well, it looks like that outflow boundary is extending out. So we have the left split, supercell outflow boundary there. This might try to either nudge or merge. It probably will merge, like I mentioned, and we'll probably have, I don't know, some sort of spin-up tornado near Snyder. What do I think the fail mode was, at least so far? My guess is the lapse rates, but... Lapse rates and or capping and inversion. Yeah, lapse rates is below 6.5. Yeah, up there. Really, anything that was on the border of Iowa and Minnesota had the best chance of doing something, but even then, like... It still wasn't really enough. There's still a good bit of inversion there. And there is inversion still ongoing over night to night. Actually, quite a bit of inversion. That's probably the reason why Central Iowa is not going to really do a whole lot. That's a new scan, but it's not doing anything. All right, out of curiosity, when does this tornado watch end? At 11 p.m. Central. So that's an hour and a half from now. I will give it until the top of the hour, chat. If nothing happens, I'm going to bed. That's how I feel. Leader Cliff. Yeah, that's my thought. If nothing happens by 11, we would have been live for a little under 4 hours, which isn't bad at all. I don't know. That is a Cubone, though. Thank you. It's a shadow Cubone. Please tell me it's good. It is not good. It is cheeks. Can I VC after I'm done? Only for maybe a little short bit. And that's if I have time, but I think I will. Kind of want to go to bed some point soon. I'm pretty tired. Kansas City tornadoes, not really too much stuff over there. Should be all right. Stay indoors, stay away from windows. Yeah, there's not really a whole lot there. A tornado warning for Wisconsin has now turned into a severe thunderstorm warning, so really it's just this one storm. Oh, how I would kill for a toothpick right now, chat. Oh, how I would kill for a toothpick. So they updated the tornado warning. Now it's just pretty much for Mountain Park and Snyder in Oklahoma. Still, that outflow boundary extends out. Yeah, those storms in Iowa are kind of dying out a bit. And the dry line and or cold front is starting to surge. Actually, that's the cold front. Cold front is starting to surge in. Will this weather pattern go towards New York? Yes, tomorrow it will. I might as well show you guys what's popping tomorrow. Got 2 areas of severe weather, 2 enhanced risks. One right here and one right here. One thing I will say, I will have a video uploaded for you guys. Should be sometime around noon. Noon is the time in which I'm thinking. Yeah, noon Eastern, 11 Central. That's around the time to which I'm thinking about. And then if I am going to stream, golly, when will I stream? That's if I stream. Yeesh. That is definitely 2% worthy. I'll tell you what, these storms over here in western New York, Squishy's going to have a really interesting time with that. The storm up there in Youngstown is pretty interesting. That's a 2%, maybe a 5%. Huh. That is not... a lot of wind right there. What about behind it overnight? It's okay. So what about down south? Did you miss anything? Not really. Yeesh. A lot of good veering. The only way it'd be able to do anything is if it had constructive mergers. Warm front is all in a line. Cold front, that might be enough to get it done. There's probably going to be a couple of tornadoes tomorrow. Maybe a little bit more. Wednesday looks so disgusting. That's disgusting. I'm disgusted. Wednesday will probably be the next day we stream, but I'm disgusted. What the heck is that? I mean, that'll get her done. But that's disgusting. Is there any other area that I need to know about for Wednesday? Missouri. That's severe weather. Yeah. Yeah, sounds about right. So that'll be a Dallas-Fort Worth event for Wednesday. Okay. Okay. I understand. This tornado warning. All right. Here's the other thing. Here's the other caveat, chat. This tornado warning expires in 9 minutes. If this thing does not get a new tornado warning, I'm also going to go to bed. Just sleep. Looking at my phone on something. Well, we can put up the Lawton camera now and just let that play since storm's out in the distance. Wasn't as bad as it was supposed to get. That's a good thing. Yeah, I do agree on that. I am happy about that. Closing time. Something, something. I cannot remember the lyrics. Instability level of Rock County, Wisconsin. Pretty low if I remember correctly, but let's pull it up. Rock County is where? You know, I thought I could find it without having to, like, search it up, but I'm probably going to have to, unfortunately. There's door. There's wood. I found pretty much everything except for Rock County. Isn't that convenient, chat? Nate knows how to find every single county except... I found iron. Iron. Wood. door. Yeah, it's I seriously am gonna have to look it up, aren't I? South Central Green. There's rock. Oh my gosh. And the one place I thought I looked, I guess I did not. I mean, there's some instability, but there's just no way for thunderstorms to be able to take advantage of it. So you're in a pretty good spot. There's also some limiting factors in the atmosphere near you, too. And there is absolutely no convergence over there. Yeah, there's energy, but there's no storms. So, that's the good news on that. Please, National Weather Service, have a heart. This storm has done nothing. Just a bunch of severe storms here now. I'm going to move Topeka's radar to Kansas City's radar. Looks like the storms that are heading into Des Moines are starting to slowly deteriorate on their own right. There's a new big severe thunderstorm warning, though, in north central Wisconsin. The big extension for those storms. Yeah, do you guys see what I mean by how the storms, as they head east, they just kind of start to become less and less significant? There's a big old outflow boundary out in front of the line. It's just not, it's not doing anything. Yeah, chat, at this point, I am just trying to kill time until the warning comes out. We do have a report here south of Wausau of a tree that caught fire and fell on a power line. It's pretty interesting. Also had a report over here in Anita, Iowa of branches down and hail to the size of nickels. Got a couple of storms that have produced some large hail, larger than that. 3-inch sized hail, if I remember correctly. Way back when. Lot of water. A lot of severe weather that could be heading very close to the international airport of Kansas City. Might head just a little bit to the north of that, though. Why did I change the radars? Because there's a bunch of storms all over the place. Gonna want to just check a bunch of different areas. Man, that rotation just decided to say, nah, I'm not doing anything. In 50 seconds, chat, this thing will expire. And there is no rotation with this storm as of right now. It has been on the struggle bus for quite some time. Which means we might actually get to go to bed just a little bit early here, chat. And that severe thunderstorm warning got canceled. This other severe thunderstorm warning is going to get canceled. There's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold up. 1, 2.
Tornado warning for northwestern Comanche County in southwestern
Why?
Oklahoma,
Why did you issue a new...
southeastern Kiowa County in southwestern Oklahoma.
Why'd you issue a new warning? This doesn't make sense. This thing has not been rotating the past 5 years. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense, chat. We'll give it another few minutes. As I said, if it doesn't do anything by the top of the hour, we're skedaddling. But chat, do you guys see something that I don't? Do you guys see something that I don't? I'm trying to, figure out. If anyone lives there. You do have a valid point, to be honest with you. Now I'm curious, chat. How many people actually do live in this polygon? $123. 123 people live in this polygon. Wow. Little CC drop on the one scan of the OK cell. A little CC drop. I mean, I don't see anything. Nothing much, sailor. Just living the dream. Hopefully, if all goes well, we end the stream here in about 10 minutes. Because this storm is not really doing too much. How about yourself? Yeah, something alright. Yawn. We have 5 severe thunderstorm warnings right now, and 1 tornado warning. Yeah, one cell's about 30 spotters. There's a bunch of people on this cell in Oklahoma. Nice little overnight threat. Yeah, the northern event might actually be toast to your chat. Northern event might actually be toast. It had the one strong tornado that was over near Elva and Mondovi. But that's pretty much it. That's all I gotta say. Non-uniform hail measured at 2.8 inches at its widest. That's some big hail for Minnesota. Teacup-sized hail. Yeah, cool. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. I am going down here to Oklahoma. What? Greatest 15 sig of all time? Yeah, it was definitely something. Yeah, it's definitely trying, but it is also doing a very poor job because the rotation just kind of discombobulated itself just a little. Couple more minutes. I'll give it a couple more minutes. Next scan. The next scan. We'll see what it does. Oh, baby, we'll carry on. Carry on. Yeah, that's one of the songs that stuck in my head earlier, chat. Black Parade. Sue Me by Sabrina Carpenter is also stuck in my head. Probably one of the best beat drops. Also a day 3 moderate choke. Happened last year too. That's disgusting. Please tell me what the velocity says. Should be in the next 20 seconds, I believe. Should be. Really? That's kind of funny. I don't really care for bedchem too much. Really, I actually I think I only like 2 songs of Sabrina Carpenter. I think I only like 2 songs. That's it. One of which everyone likes, which is, you know, of course, Espresso. The other one being Sue Me. As I said, Sue Me has probably one of the better beat drops that I've heard. Like, it should be an EDM or trap song, but it's not. Guess I'm waiting for one more scan, chat. Because that velocity signature did not really change that much. We'll get a new update within the next 30 seconds, though. Espresso's about Starbucks, right? No, it is not. No, it is not. Oh, hey, there's a new scan. New velocity scan should come in here. As soon as I look away, it's gonna happen, isn't it? That just gusted out. Yeah. I'm going to sleep, chat. So, one thing, we're going to have some form of content out for you guys tomorrow. We're going to have a video uploaded by noon Eastern, 11 Central. And depending upon what I see in those models, will be if I'm living. We'll determine as to if I'll be live tomorrow. But today was boring. Boring streams are good. And yeah. Sleep time for me. Hope you guys have a good night. Hope you guys get some good sleep. I hope you guys have a good day tomorrow. Hopefully I'll have a good day tomorrow. Will I be ready for hurricane season? Yep. I will. I'll be hopefully consistent all the way up until hurricane season, with the exception of the time in which I'm on vacation. But yeah, now since I don't have that full-time job anymore, I have flexible hours. I'm able to do all sorts of stuff now. So, I'm pretty excited for that. Very excited, actually. So, alright, chat. Sleepy time. Sleepy time for most. Did I see the insane tornadoes yesterday? I did. Thank goodness they didn't happen to any populous areas. Yeah, this thing gusted out. Good night. Good night, y'all. I will talk to y'all tomorrow in tomorrow's video. So hit the notification bell. Stay up to date. You guys know the drill. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Good night, chat. Look, I'll even put up the classic stream is ending. The stream is ending. Go to sleep.